Good morning. Time to make the coffee. Hazelnut again this morning, decaf. Today it's supposed to be 80 degrees and mostly clear, although it's overcast now, but it's still relatively early in the day. So I still didn't get out into my garage and get my car in there. So I really should do that today. 80 degrees should be a nice degree for comfort for working outside. I got the garden weeded, so I don't have to do a whole lot out there, but I do have a table that I need to clear off. Maybe by the time I have to put everything away, I'll get everything done out there. Oh, so much to do all the time. I really need to simplify more. It's a process. It takes a while. At least it does for me. So we'll see how far I get today. Yesterday I didn't do a whole lot. I just did a little cooking, cooked ahead. So now I have no meat meatloaf and I have vegetable soup. So I'm good as far as food goes. But I think I have some zucchini left and I want to do something with that today. It's just a chunk of zucchini. So we'll see. But it probably won't be dinner. I don't know. You never know. I like to go not necessarily with a schedule, but just sort of an open schedule. Let's put it that way. That way, if something else comes up or I have to change my mind and do something else, then it's possible. So anyway, let's give the coffee a taste. Cheers. Nice and hot. So those are kind of my tentative plans for the day. I never did go to Home Depot and buy a couple more shelves. I need to check my finances first and see how much I have left in my checking account, because there's never a whole lot in there. So I might have to wait on buying the shelves. I have short shelves I can use out there, and I'll just continue to use those until I get the money together to buy more shelving. Although if there's money in the account, at some point this week, I'll go buy a couple longer shelves. So always something to do. This downsizing really takes a lot of time, because you have to keep pulling everything out of your cupboards or your closets or your garage, and then you have a bigger mess than what you started with. Because most of my cupboards and closets are organized, so I have to disorganize them before I can reorganize them after I purge things. So it seems like there's always a mess going somewhere from things that I've pulled out that were perfectly fine before I pulled everything out. Well, like I always say, you have to crack a few eggs to make an omelet, so I have to continue to focus on what my end goal is, which is having less stuff. So, all right, I'm going to go ahead and enjoy my coffee, and I will meet you at the budget book in a little bit. Okay, so here we are back at the budget book. So yesterday I did not spend any money. I stayed home. Like I said, I need to go to Home Depot and buy a couple more shelves. I have $73 left in my checking account after paying all my bills, which is awesome for me because I was always at this point already going into my overdraft. And I was kind of using my overdraft account as a credit card, basically. And then, but that would get paid off every month because as soon as there's money deposited in the account, the first thing that automatically comes out is the overdraft. That's just the way it works at my bank. So for me to have $73 left in there is pretty darn good. But it's getting a little bit close for comfort. I don't want to go back into the overdraft, and I don't know of any other bills that are coming out until I get my Social Security check, which kind of happens towards the middle-ish of the month. So I think I'm going to hold off a little bit on the shelving yet. We'll see. I'll see how far I get in organizing my garage so that I can get my car back in there. But anyway, so that's how I've been doing with my bills this month. And most of my bills, I would say 80% of my bills come out at the beginning of the month. And then I have a few that are bigger that come out at the end of the month. So I don't know. I guess I could tweak that a little bit. I'm going to see if I can't do that. But at least I get it over and done with and all the bills paid early rather than later. So that's the way I've been doing my budget and trying to live within my means rather than constantly have an overdraft payment that I have to do. So far, so good. Keeping track of money this way has been working great for me. How are you guys doing with tracking your money? And financially, do you pay your bills at the beginning of the month? Do you have them more spread out during the month? I don't know. It's, it's an adjustment trying to figure out how not to have to go onto a credit card or an overdraft as far as bills go. So anyway, that's my spiel for the day. I don't plan on going to Home Depot today and getting those shelves. Now, those shelves are not that expensive. They're like $17 a piece, and I need 2 of them. But then that would leave me only with like $40 in my checking account until the middle of the month. So we'll see. We will see what the day brings and how much I get organized. So, all right, I will be back in a little bit, and we'll see what else is going on. All right, well, I'm back in the kitchen again, and one of my viewers was asking me how I make iced coffee. Well, I bought this in Florida a few years ago, and it's actually meant for iced coffee. You can make tea in it too. It has a very fine meshed insert, and this is where you put your coffee. So I just have some filtered water in here. It's a very simple process. This is actually coffee from Dollar Tree, but I saved one of my Folgers containers. So this is, I mixed together the French vanilla and the hazelnut, so it's vanilla hazelnut at this point. All right, so what I'm going to do now is just fill this about up to halfway with just coffee. And like I said, the Dollar Tree coffee, it's $1.25, and you can get quite a few containers of iced coffee out of it. So it's way, way cheaper. So I'm going to put, you can make it as strong or as weak as you like. So I have about half filled. And then it's got this top that comes off, and this inserts in here. And then it locks in. And you just submerge it, and then you put it in the fridge for 24 hours, and you let it steep. And it's as simple as that. So if you don't want to get one like this, I can't even remember. This is a Primula, Primula. And like I said, I got it in Florida. It was on sale like for $10, so I couldn't pass it up. But a lot of times I'll use this as well. And it's a coffee filter that I got on Amazon. And you can make it in a mason jar. That way you don't have as much coffee. But I've used this a lot. But I found this when I was decluttering. I actually forgot about it. So when I was decluttering, I found this one at the back of my cupboard. So since I like iced coffee in the summer, I figured, well, I'll use this one. So either way works well, and I think these run about $12. I don't know what they are now. I've had this for a long time. But it's the same principle, you know, fill it up with coffee, like maybe to there, and put your filtered water in. You don't have to use filtered water if you don't want to, but that's my preference. So, okay, that's how I make iced coffee. And you can use any ground coffee for the iced coffee, but then just let it steep. I steep it for 24 hours. Then I remove the insert. I put that coffee in the composter, and then I just put the rest of the coffee in the fridge, and it lasts me several days. Well, welcome to my hoarded garage. The dogs never come out here, so they're exploring. I have to put all this away. Must happen. And it all needs to go over here. And then I have this mess I got to do something with. This is that chair that I bought that I don't know what to do with. That, I need to put it together, and I didn't want to send it back because it was $100 to return it, so I just kept it. I think I'm going to put it up in one of my spare bedrooms. But the arm was broken. So I think I might just try and leave the arms off. So anyway, I'm just going to work on this little section here so that I can get my car in the garage. And these guys are very excited. They probably smell a mouse or a chipmunk because they run in here periodically too. So they are on the hunt. All right, well, I'll show you how far I get. Help! Well, let's see what all we have over here. Oh, a whole bag of flip-flops, swim shoes. I brought these back from the boat. They're still perfectly decent flip-flops. I could donate some. Well, in here, these are all pots. I do a lot. I stand around and think about things. Am I the only one that stands around and thinks about things? I don't know. This is a hose that goes with heaters. So really all this stuff I'm keeping, most of these pots, but I have to take them out of the box. And that's not very interesting, so I'm going to go ahead and do this, and then I'll be back later and show you what I got done. All right, well, I got stuff put back on the shelf. I can use my sink now. So I need to get 2 more long shelves up there and up there. But I accomplished what I wanted to for today. Still lots of things to clean up in this garage, but that's not a project I'm doing now. I just wanted to get it so that I could get my car in. And now I have plenty of room for my car here. This is a project for another day. This is a project for another day. But like I said, my objective was to get my car in here. So I'm happy. Now I can go finish working on my linen closet. But I'm going to take a break first. I take lots of breaks. So I'm very glad I got that garage at least cleaned up to the point where I can get my car back in there. And I can use my sink again, because I like to use that sink when I pick herbs and things. I can wash them in that sink instead of bringing them all the way inside. So that's very convenient for me. And that sink was actually given to me by my oldest son. He had bought it. He used to work at Lowe's, and every now and then he would find things really, really marked down cheap. So he picked up a lot of things from his employment there, and he gave me that sink, and I was really happy about that. So it's nice when you can get free things that are useful. But you can see from my garage that it's just totally gotten out of control. Last year it wasn't as bad, but when I was doing the winter sewing and all that, I just shoved all that stuff in the garage when I was done. I still have a Christmas wreath out there that never got into the attic because that big box chair is in the way, and I really need to get out there, but I'm dragging my feet because it's overwhelming to me to figure out what the heck to do with everything. Now, a lot of that stuff I do use, so, it's not like I can just willy-nilly go and either get a dumpster and throw it all out or say, okay, everything's going to the donation. Because I do a lot of things that, the gardening. I used to do a lot of crafting. I haven't done much of that lately because I haven't had the time. But I have things out there to make wreaths. I have a box of silk flowers. I need to put up a new water system in my backyard. I have a bunch of hoses that I can use for that. So it's all things that need to be put into use and not actually thrown away. But it all takes time, and I kind of miscalculated my, I don't even know how to put this, my aging ability to get things done. Because when I was younger, it was no big deal. If I had 3 or 4 projects sitting there waiting for me to finish them up, it was no big deal. I would go right out there and get to it, and it would be done. But this all started when I broke my hip. And I recovered really well from that, but I don't have the stamina anymore that I used to have. And I know it's like, well, you could get into exercising and do weightlifting and all that, but once the arthritis and the fibromyalgia really started to kick in, and as I've gotten older, it's gotten worse. So it's not just arthritis, it's like a double whammy. And I didn't realize when I was younger that that was going to happen. So I think a lot of us think, oh, you've got plenty of time, you can do it down the road, yada yada. But sometimes the road leads you in a different direction. So sometimes you just have to let some projects go. But I'm in the process of picking and choosing what I really still enjoy and what I still enjoy doing. Because even if I enjoy doing something, if it's physically too taxing on me, I'm not going to enjoy it anymore. So, lots of adjustments. And really, this didn't even start until about 67, when I was about 60, well, maybe 66, 67. Because when I was 65, I was still, in pretty good shape. But I don't know. Sometimes things just kind of sneak up on you that you're not expecting. It could be an accident, it could be an illness, it could be anything. So I guess my whole point here is it's better to get ahead of the game before your age kind of steps in and says, no, you're not doing it. So anyway, that's what I'm thinking. So I'll just keep plodding along and doing what I can and getting rid of things as I can. And, just enjoying life in the meantime. It doesn't have to consume your whole life unless you let it. And then, don't be afraid to ask for help. I'm even thinking about maybe if I can find somebody that's reasonable, maybe hiring an organizer for a few days just to kind of, because sometimes you kind of get that overwhelming feeling, like when I walk into the garage. The rest of the house isn't like that, but the garage is definitely a storage area for me. So when I walk out there, it's like, oh, where do I begin? But I have to realize I have to start in one corner and work my way either counterclockwise or clockwise around the room and get that donation pile going, get the garbage pile going, and the rest of it I need to organize and put away. I don't need all that stuff out there. So anyway, that's my take on the organizing of the garage, which kind of started a little bit today, but I've decided I'm going to hold off for a little bit on the shelves because right now, the way I have it set up, it's working okay. But once I really get in there and start with the organizing, I'm going to need some more shelving just to make things neat. So, all right, my friends, that's all I have for you today. I want to wish you abundant blessings. I love you guys. Be good to yourself. Be good to others. God bless you. And I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, comment, and like. Thanks for watching.